Hello, my name is Tara Norman, and today I will be showing you all how to make a cheese quesadilla. It only takes a couple of minutes for those days that you don't really feel like cooking anything. So let's get started. First off, you're going to need tortillas, of course. You're going to need some shredded cheese, some taco seasoning mix to give it a little extra flavor, and of course some non-stick cooking spray, your frying pan, and of course a spatula. Alright, let's get started. First you're going to want to preheat your stove. I generally keep it at about medium so it's not too hot because it's really easy for the tortillas to burn. But it also needs to be warm enough so it doesn't take too long to cook. So, I'm going to let that warm up right quick. Shake your can up, spray a little of the spray. Going to put our first tortilla on. Get in there nice and flat to where all of it's pressed down and cooking. And then we're going to take our shredded cheese. I like to get a lot of it. A lot of shredded cheese. Really pack it on there, because there's not a whole lot to a cheese quesadilla, so you don't want it to be really thin and flat and not have a lot of texture or flavor to it, so I really pack it in there. And you also want to make sure you spread it around the whole tortilla, because when you first take a bite out of it, you don't just want to bite into a flat, boring, nasty tasting tortilla. So you really want to spread it out and pack it on there nice and thick. A whole mess of it. I use about majority of this bag just by making 2 of them. Really want to get it on there because by the time the cheese melts, it's not going to look like a whole lot. So you really got to pack it on there. Spread it around. And then what I like to do is I like to take my taco seasoning, just for a little extra flavor, but it's whatever your preference is. I don't put too much, just a little. Just barely sprinkle a little bit on there. You might need to spread it out a little bit if it clumps. Let's put a little bit more. Maybe just a little bit more cheese, give it a little bit more flavor. Then we're going to put our top tortilla on. And you really want to press it down, make sure that cheese melts onto it so it stays together. You don't want it to flop apart when you try to flip it. Okay, so I'm pressing this down here. We're getting around the edges too. You want to get around the edges because it's real easy for it to fall apart when I try to flip this. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and flip it now so the bottom doesn't get too overcooked. Now it's a nice golden brown on the bottom, which is good. That's what you want. You don't want it to be doughy, but you also don't want it to be crunchy. Maybe just a little bit. So I flipped it over now and have it cook on the other side a little bit more. Get that other side nice and brown, and I'm pressing down on it so it will cook a little bit faster. And you want to make sure you get it all around so that all of it's evenly cooked. And make sure to get those edges. Get those edges real good. Pressing it down. And you can see inside that the cheese is nice and melted. And the bottom of this is looking pretty golden brown. So I'm going to say that this is about ready. Take it off. Make sure to turn your stove off so as to not burn down your house. Then I like to cut it right down the middle, because it is a little big to eat just singly. And then I like to cut it again, cut it in a little fourth so it's easier to hold and to eat. Nice and yummy. Look at that wonderful cheese quesadilla. Okay, and that concludes my speech on making a cheese quesadilla.